Do you feel like you're on the hamster wheel of life, just going and going and going, and it's so busy and there's so much stuff to do, and you're like, I feel so freaking tired. I don't know how I'm going to be able to keep up with all of this stuff. Now, maybe this is your everyday life, and there's an immense amount of chores and tasks and to-do items and everything else. And maybe it's also your business life, especially if you're in the entrepreneurial space or self-employed space and you work for yourself and you have bought into all of these ideas of all this stuff that you have to be doing all the time in order to get success. If that's your case and you're tired of jumping on the hamster wheel and you're tired of, or even just being on the hamster wheel because it never seems to end, and no matter how much stuff you do, it's never enough, well, come on, my friend, and dive into the soil of this with me. We're going to find a better way together. Greetings and welcome to you. My name is D. Grant Smith. In case you didn't know, I'm the growth farmer for personal development through the lens, I always do the thing with my glasses, of storytelling and spirituality. Now, I want to, before I dive straight on into what it is that we're going to be talking about today, I want to do something to just say thank you to all of you who leave comments and little thumbs ups. They're big thumbs up in my book. And especially all of you guys that are subscribed. Thank you so much for being a part of what it is that I'm doing. Thank you for connecting with me. Thank you for commenting and sharing your key takeaways and stuff that you've gained from these videos, and even just saying that you're on board with what it is that I'm talking about. Your feedback means a whole lot to me, and it is an incredibly encouraging and beautiful part of my day. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. And what I want to share with you guys today is something that I think just about everybody can relate to. At least that's my assumption. And it's this feeling that we're on this hamster wheel in life. And sometimes this hamster wheel is all of the things that we feel like we have to take care of in a given day. Maybe it is stuff that we're doing with our jobs and with our work, especially in the self-employment space, as I'm in. If you're in that space too, this is something that will really be something that you can relate to. And I'm going to actually begin with that perspective. Being in this self-employed personal development space for a long time, I bought into a lot of other people's programs and ideas and suggestions and ways of how to build success. And all of them, for the most part, had so much to do with this system of having to create endless amounts of content. And maybe you can relate to this as well. Maybe you feel like you've been on this endless hamster wheel of content creation because one of the big guru guys, Gary Vee, got a beautiful heart, used to be really, really intense and kind of hard to, but I really value the things that he talks about, at least now, in terms of us giving and giving from a place of love and from loving ourselves instead of just doing something to get some sort of end result. And I think that that's one of the things that can really get in our way. Because being on the hamster wheel ultimately is about us doing and doing and doing in order to get some sort of outcome. And one of the things that I've been learning about in my own journey is the more that I'm attached to an outcome, the more that I'm making things more difficult for myself. So if I'm coming on here on this channel and making these videos because I feel this attachment to doing so, and if I don't do it, I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to have some sort of accolade or acceptance or turn into whatever. I'm really approaching this whole thing from the wrong reason. Which is why what I am shifting into and have been shifted into for the past several months, and it has been incredibly freeing, and also the reason why I want to share this with you today is because I am living from the delight of my heart. So I come on here every weekday and I make these videos and I share them with you because this makes me so happy. I love teaching. I love sharing things that I'm learning. And similar to another person that I follow, Alex Hermosi, in his videos, he's like, hey man, I don't have anything to sell you. I love doing these videos and I learn by teaching. So that's why I put this video together for you. And I don't really have anything to sell you either. I've got stuff that you can buy from me if you want it, but I'm not doing this stuff to get you to buy anything from me. I make these videos because I love sharing things that matter to me. I love sharing these revelations that I have that have blessed me because I believe that they will bless you too. That is why I am here. And detaching from doing anything in order to get an outcome has taken me off of the never-ending hamster wheel of running and running and running and doing and doing and doing and trying to make something happen. Because ultimately, how does the universe respond to us? The universe responds, yes, to action that we take when we are in a place of inspired action. That's because it's coming from our intuition. It's coming from our higher self. The universe doesn't necessarily respond to endless action to try to make something happen, because we're trying to take on the power of control. And the art of allowing really is just that. It is allowing. But when we are allowing from a place of peace, a place within our inner heart garden where we're doing something because we're so passionate about it. We're doing something because we love doing it, because it scores a 10 on enjoyment. That's when avenues and gateways and channels for blessings really start to pour in, because we're not doing it to get something. We're doing it because we love it. And especially in this business space, it is my practice and my encouragement to you that for your inner garden, plant what it is that you love, so that when it grows and it fully blossoms and comes into fruition, you're like in this celebratory place because, yes, this is exactly what I wanted to experience. Not because I had to have this certain flower, I had to have it grow in a certain way or in a certain time, and I'm always looking to see when it's going to show up. You do it because you love it, no matter what that is. So if you feel incredibly busy and you feel almost, and maybe you feel burned out. Hey dude, I felt burned out for a long time. There was a period of time when I was making videos all the time. I was writing blog articles every day. I was constantly putting out content because that was a system, that was a method that I'd bought into by some expert and guru that knew the way better than I. And I had to just detach from all of that. And I had to come home to myself and ask myself, what is it that I really want to do? And why do I really want to do it? And if the reasons for doing whatever it was that I chose to do was not a 10 out of, I just love this, it's so freaking awesome, and I don't care what happens, I'm doing it because I love it. If it doesn't score a 10 on my book, it's not something I do. I'm not writing a blog article every day. I'm not making content creation this thing that I'm doing because I'm trying to get somewhere. As I said in one of my previous videos, which I think I'll link up here, the idea of the promised land being this destination that we're going to get to where suddenly everything works out for us and all of our dreams come true, I think that that's also this foible that we can buy into and also end up on the never-ending hamster wheel of trying to get to the promised land. Because what if the promised land isn't a place? What if we are the promised land and it's a state of consciousness? And when we're operating out of joy and out of love and out of delight and out of we're doing this because we are in love with the process, then we get to carry that promised land with us wherever we go. And that gets to be the thing that we are embodying and the thing that we're giving away. And so it becomes this never-ending inspiration cycle instead of a never-ending hamster wheel where we are doing and doing and doing and running ourselves into the ground and don't know what to do to change it. As I said in another previous video about how to remove fear and brokenness permanently, and to do so in 5 minutes or less, it's really a simple practice. It's Ho'oponopono. And another kind of dovetail into what all of this stuff is about getting off the hamster wheel, I had to forgive myself for tying myself to stuff that didn't serve me, because I had done it for all of my life. Because again, it was something that was trained, or that I was trained in, something that was programmed into me, something that came from the education system, sure, church, sure, all these obligations and things that I felt like I had to do in order to be good enough. It's all rubbish. It doesn't matter. You know who decides whether or not you're good enough? You do. And you're the only person that really gets to have that say. Giving that power to anybody else is not fair. It's not fair to you and it's not fair to them. The person who gets to decide what it is that you do, that you fully love, that you fully enjoy, that fully gets your motor running, The only person with that responsibility and that power is you. So just ask yourself a simple question. Is what I'm doing something that I'm really passionate about? Now, if you've told yourself, oh, I have to do this because it's part of my job, and I don't enjoy doing it, but I have to, ask yourself why. And ask yourself, well, how could I make this thing that I've convinced myself that I have to do because it's a part of my job, how could I make this more enjoyable? How could I take this from maybe a 5 on the scale up to even like an 8 or a 9, maybe even a 10? Is there a way that I can look at this work that I'm doing that I don't really enjoy all that much and elevate the level of enjoyment that I bring to the table, or the level of enjoyment that it brings into my life? Is there a way that I can do that? And if you will ask your higher self that, all kinds of opportunities and all kinds of ideas will come into your being. Trust me, that's been my experience. It's all a matter of you allowing yourself to see things from a different way, and Ho'oponopono does several things. It cleans and clears our consciousness, and it also opens our eyes to be able to see things that we weren't able to see before, because now our perception has changed. Things that were blocking our ability to see, our filters, get cleaned and cleared off. And in this spiritual practice, we're able to change our story, and we're able to elevate what it is that we're doing and turning it into something that we really love, that we're really passionate about. And it doesn't matter what kind of outcome we get, we do it for the sure, simple fact that it blesses us in the doing. And that by itself is winner material. What do you think? Are you on board with this? Are you on board with changing the way that you look at the things that you do and shifting into a place where you are choosing to do what you really love because you love doing it, detaching from the outcome and trying to get some sort of result? Because actually, some of the best gifts and best blessings and best success are things that we don't see coming. When we can get out of our own way, jump off of the hamster wheel, and get into a place of enjoyment and delight, magic happens. If you're on board with that, drop down and let me know in the comments. I appreciate you, I love you, and I'll see you again soon.